Art is an expression of life, a reflection of thoughts, emotions, and personal experience. It's not something created in a moment. It takes time, intention, and vulnerability to put brush to canvas and see where your heart takes you. But while creating art is powerful, getting it seen by the world can be a challenge. That's where places like Northville Art House come in, helping artists of all ages share their work and their voices. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced on the campus of Madonna University. I'm Chris Benson, and joining me today is someone helping to lead that mission. Please welcome the Executive Director of the Northville Art House, Shannon Karol.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, great to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So what do you do as the Executive Director of the Art House?
The easier question might be, what don't I do?
Okay.
As the Executive Director of the Northville Art House. We are a fairly small organization. We currently have 2 staff members. So my colleague Ryan oversees all of the exhibit side of things. So he is the one hanging the art on the walls, working with artists and everything like that. I am doing everything else. So right now that includes fundraising, looking for sponsors, grant writing. We just hit our 3-year anniversary as a 501c3, which means we can now apply for grants, which is really exciting. And right now I'm also doing all of our educational scheduling. So every year we host approximately 130 to 140 different classes and workshops. So right now I'm the person working with our instructors to get all of those scheduled out on our website. My colleague Ryan does all of our social media and does a great job with that. But anything that's not related to the art kind of falls to me.
Oh, so other duties as assigned,
exactly.
as they say, right? Right? And a small but mighty staff
yes.
at Northville Art House.
Yes, very dedicated staff.
How did you get connected to the Northville Art House?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually grew up in Northville. I graduated from Northville High School and then went away in the fall of 1999 to go to U of M for undergrad, and then have worked in art museums for the last 18 years. So I've been at museums in Texas and Ohio and Kentucky, and then came back to Michigan in the winter of 2022 to work at the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts. And while I was there, I just randomly looked for jobs in the arts closer to home, closer to Northville, and found the Art House, and it was perfect. So went through the interview process, and I'm now back closer to my family and getting to share my love for the arts with the community where I grew up. And you can't ask for a better job than that.
Oh, how wonderful. So tell us where the Art House is located, and then how long has it been in existence?
Yeah, so the Art House our physical address is 215 West Katy Street. We are basically across the street from the Northville District Library, so a block or 2 off of downtown Northville proper. And we have been there for 20 years. So the Art House opened in 2005, so we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year.
Oh, wonderful. And so walk me through, like I'm at the Art House, what can I expect to see going on any typical day?
Yeah, so when you walk in the front door, it's sort of a choose your own adventure, which path you want to take. So most people start off by going into our artisan store, which is just inside the front door. In the store, we have work by local artists, all of which is for sale. It includes jewelry, ceramic vases, wooden boxes, greeting cards, paintings, prints, anything artistic that you could potentially want to buy is in the artisan store. So that is one starting location. If you decide to go downstairs, that takes you to our studio. So on any given day, we have a variety of classes and workshops happening. During the daytime, you'll most likely see adults in there, but if you come after school around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you'll see kids in the studio learning about painting and drawing and watercolor. And then we have evening classes as well. And then if you go upstairs into our main gallery, you will see a rotating gallery of exhibits. So we host about 10 different exhibitions in our primary gallery each year. And then we also have an emerging artist wall upstairs just off of our gallery where we show artists who are sort of up and coming in their career. And this year we're focusing on teen artists. So sometimes students from Northville High School. Our current student lives in Troy, so you don't have to be in Northville to have your work displayed at the Art House either. So you have your option of art shopping or learning how to make art when you walk through the door.
And I've driven by, I mean, it looks like a house. So,
yes.
you know, thus the name,
yep.
right? Was it a residence at one point in time?
To my knowledge, it has not been a residence. Okay. I believe it was built for the Boy Scouts.
Oh, wow.
And it was originally the meeting site for the Northville branch of the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
And then at various times over its lifespan, it has been a preschool. Oh. It has been the senior center. It has been the Offices for Civic Concern. So I believe it was built in the early 60s. So it has had a varied life in its 60 years of existence.
Awesome.
But we've been the primary residence for the last 20 years.
Yeah. And so as the executive director, when you're looking at all the things that are going on, what are you thinking, like, gosh, like, how do we keep all of this straight, right? Because it sounds like you have a lot going on. And I have a feeling you give the best gifts because of the gift shop that's right there. But how do you organize kind of what's happening at the Art House? Because there's a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on. And so it's a lot of list making, and we have a lot of different systems that help us keep everything running. So all of our classes go through one system that's super user friendly. So if you're looking to sign up for a class, you can do that through our website. And so our internal calendars help keep us organized, but our website is really, if we forget what's going on, we go to our website just like we tell everyone else to do to sort of help keep everything straight too.
And how do you pick what classes to offer? I imagine, like, give me an example of what I could take at the Art House.
Yeah, so we offer a variety of classes. I usually start off by saying the one thing we don't teach is pottery. We don't have a kiln on site, so we can't teach you pottery or ceramics or anything like that. But if you're looking to learn how to draw, how to paint, and painting includes watercolor, acrylic paint, oil paint. If you're looking, I teach art history classes, so if you're looking to learn more about art history, that's something we can help you with. We have tried photography classes, but have not had a ton of people sign up for those. Basically, when we're looking for new topics to offer, we send surveys out to our students and our members, and we ask them for feedback. What would you like to see us offer in the future? And the things that they request are things like photography. So we've also had some requests for plein air painting, which is painting outdoors directly from nature.
Not heard of that before.
We're offering a couple of classes in plein air painting this spring. So that's going to be super fun. One of them is going to meet at the Mill Race Historic Village in Northville, so painting nature, but also the houses and the historic buildings that are there. And that's a tradition that goes back to the Impressionists. So Claude Monet was a plein air painter. So we're kind of tapping into that 19th century tradition too.
And bringing that into the modern day. And there's Northville, for anyone who hasn't been there, is such a picturesque, beautiful downtown area, so much history there. So I imagine your artists have a lot of good subject matter.
Yes, they do.
No shortage on that. Well, we need to take a short break. Stay tuned, and we'll hear more about the Northville Art House when we come back.
Family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking?
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope we
bad
don't
day
have another bad day
today.
at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson. We're continuing our conversation with the wonderful Shannon and Karol from the Northville Art House. Shannon, so how do you select? It's got to be very difficult to select who has their artwork displayed at the house and sold. And so how do you do that?
There are a couple of different ways that we find our artists and artworks for exhibition. So sometimes we have open calls for artists. So we would put out, we are creating an exhibition around this theme. And so as an example, last year we did a mysterious and macabre exhibition around Halloween. And I was actually the juror for that exhibition. And so for a lot of those open call exhibitions, we ask a juror to look at all of the submissions. And then we have a sense of how many artworks can fit in the gallery. And comfortably, it's about 50 to 60.
Okay.
And so the juror sort of has that number in mind as they go through the submissions and pick the ones that they think are the strongest or best fit with the theme, or maybe would play best together when we hang them up on the wall. Those are some of the things that the jurors take into account when they are selecting the artworks. So typically when an artist is submitting work, they can submit up to 3 or 4 pieces depending on the exhibition. So there may be some artists who get all 4 pieces in, some artists who might not get any in, but we try to take 1 piece from every artist who submits, just so that we can continue getting new faces and new artists in the art house too. But we do have a lot of repeat artists, including artists who have been with us since the very first exhibition in 2005. Wow. So we have a long legacy of artists. So those juried exhibitions are one way to get into the art house. Right now we have our current annual members exhibition. So at the Art House we have over 350 members. And one of the perks of your membership is that you get to submit 1 piece for the annual member show. So I said our gallery comfortably holds 50 to 60 artworks. We have 102 artworks in the gallery right now. So it was a challenge to hang, but it is, in my opinion, the best show I've seen in the 2 years that I've been at the Art House. And it's a blend of students who have taken classes at the Art House and are maybe showing their work for the first time to some of those artists who have been showing for 20 years or so. And then every once in a while, we'll hear from an arts guild or an arts organization looking for a space to show their work. And so we will rent our gallery out to them, and then they can show their work at the Art House as well. So we've had the Brighton Art Guild, the Birmingham Society of Women Painters, and we've had a quilting group who has shown their work in the gallery. So those are kind of the 3 main ways that artists get their work into the Art House.
And I've seen on your website that there's all different price points. The art is for sale, so I can go to the Art House, I can find a piece that's like, oh my gosh, look at that, and I can purchase it there. And then do you have the same things online, or all of them online? How does that work?
So anything that is for sale is also for sale on our website. Okay. There are some artists who decide that they don't want to sell their work. Maybe it's too personal, or they're not ready to put it out into the world quite yet. So if something is not for sale, we won't put it up on the website. But anything that the artist is willing to part with and send to a good home, we put those up on our website. All of the artists set their own price points, which is why you see such a variety. Some of them in our current exhibit are as low as $100. Some of them are over $1,000. So it really depends on the size of the work and what the work is made of for those different price points. But as long as we know it's going to a good home, we are happy to promote the artists and to help them put their work out into the world.
And when you have the new pieces come in, or the new exhibitions, is there like an opening for that?
Yes.
I imagine there's, in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's a wonderful, maybe like crackers and cheese.
Absolutely. Are you sure you haven't been there?
Not yet, but I will. So what is that like?
Yeah, so we host an opening typically the first Friday that an exhibition is open. So it runs from 5 to 8 p.m. We have wine and beer at a cash bar. We have cheese and crackers and sweet treats, just little things for people to nibble on as they stop in to look at the art. Most of the artists go out of their way to make sure that they're there for the openings, so it gives visitors a chance to meet the artists and talk with them about their work. At one of our openings, a couple purchased an artwork and waited for the artist to show up. They refused to leave until he arrived.
Wow.
So I had to warn him that he had a slight stalker situation where someone really, really wanted to meet him, but they had purchased his work and just were so excited to meet him and hear about his process. So it's a great opportunity for art collectors, art lovers, and artists to sort of all come together and experience the art together.
What have you seen the reaction be to people coming to the Art House? Art plays a special role in our life. So what have you seen, and why is it important?
Yeah, I think art gives us a window into another world, and that's part of why I love what I do. When I worked in museums, I gave a lot of tours to kids, and so I just love looking at art with other people, talking about it with them, because somebody will always point out a detail I haven't noticed or cause me to think about it in a way I've never thought about it before. So I love just popping into the gallery when people are in there and asking them what they see, what they think, and having those conversations. You know, we have people who are sort of in and out the door in 5 minutes. I've never been here, I want to see what it is. Okay, I'm done. And then we have people who analyze every piece and spend hours in the galleries exploring together. What's been fun for me, we've started preschool programs in the past year.
Oh, wow.
And so we do gallery experiences for 2, 3, and 4-year-olds with their favorite grown-ups. And it's been super fun to see how the 2, 3, and 4-year-olds react to the artworks, because they love the colors, they love the shapes, and they connect to it just as much as a grown-up would. So that's been super fun for me this year.
What other kinds of collaborations do you have with the community, and what other kind of groups might come through?
Sure. Right now we're collaborating with the Northville Karol, which is a choral group in the city of Northville, and we've launched the Northville Children's Chorale. So again, getting little voices heard on stage with the adult voices. So the Children's Chorale is for ages 5 through 8, and they meet once a week to learn songs, and they sing on stage with the chorale during their spring and their holiday concerts. So we're always looking for new people to partner with. We do quite a bit with the Millrace Historical Village. We host annual tours of the Oakwood Cemetery, which is right next door to the Art House. So we do, you know, costumed interpretations about the different, the Victorian Northvillians who are buried there.
Yes.
It's a lot of the founding families of Northville. So we collaborate with the Historical Society quite a bit. We do a book club with the Northville District Library, since they're right across the street from us. So yeah, we're always looking for ways to partner and to kind of expand how we're defining art too. For a long time, the Art House was only about the visual arts, but now we're expanding into vocal arts and music performances, into art historical fiction. We have a creative writing class that we offer.
Oh, wow.
So we're really trying to broaden the arts and make it more accessible for everybody.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we are already at a break. When we return, we'll discuss more about the Northville Art House. Don't go away. There's a lot more to learn.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me. Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Do you like this top? It's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson. We're here with Shannon Karol. She's from the Northville Art House, and we've learned so many great things about the organization today. One thing we haven't talked about yet is all the wonderful festivals and fairs that they have in Northville and all our little small towns here in Michigan. What affiliation does the Art House have with these festivals and fairs?
So we have two of our own that we host on an annual basis. The first we call the Young Artist Art Fair, and this year we're holding it Mother's Day weekend. It used to be in the winter when it was snowy and icy, and we said, you know, we're going to move it to the spring. So from here on forward, going out Mother's Day weekend is the Young Artist Art Fair. And so that is open to artists in grades 2 through 12 who want to, like I said earlier, put their art out into the world. So they have a 6-foot table where they set up a display with whatever they've made. Last year we had crochet stuffed animals, we had jewelry, we had paintings, we had photographs, and they sell the work to whoever wants to buy it. And so they set their own prices. We give them some coaching on how to set up their table, how to think about pricing their work. I had a student this year ask me if they could price everything at like $3.99. I said, well, you could, but then you need to have a lot of pennies so that you can give people change. So we talked about how important it is to have a round number when you're pricing your artworks. And so last year we had 350 people attend this event and purchase work from our young artists. So we hope for an even greater turnout this year. We have 33 artists who will be joining us this year to display and sell their work.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's Mother's Day weekend. And then Father's Day weekend, we host our annual art market. In the past, this was called the Arts and Acts Festival. We've rebranded it a little bit for 2025 and for the future so that it's more inclusive, so that it doesn't just have to be, again, fine art painters, but it can be people who are maybe dabbling in other types of art beyond painting and sculpture. And so the art market will be held back on the streets of downtown Northville for the first time since 2020, since pre-pandemic. And so we're so excited to be on Main and Center Streets. We'll have about 80 artists and vendors out on those two streets this summer, and it's an event that we can't wait to bring back to the community. We took last year off. We didn't host an art fair, so this is sort of our grand re-entry into the Northville community, and we're so excited to be able to share the work from these 80 artists with our community.
And there's just something about a small town in Michigan, a little art fair, you know, you kind of go there, get a cup of coffee or get something to drink and just enjoy, you know, yourself.
Yeah, so many great shops and restaurants and cafes in downtown Northville too that you get sort of double the experience. You have the art market experience, but then the downtown Northville experience too.
And people watching. You can't forget the people watching. What are your long-term plans or short-term plans for the Art House? You know, we're always changing. There's always new things that are coming down. What do you see for the future?
Yeah, so I always joke, I am not an artist myself. So my background is in art history. So I'm looking for ways that I can bring some of my background and experiences into the Art House, which is why I'm teaching the art history classes, why we've started the preschool play dates. But we're also now looking at ways that we can take the Art House outside of our own four walls and out into the community. So we actually received a grant earlier this year to do some outreach to retirement centers and senior centers across the area. So for those, our instructors and I will be hitting the road. We'll be doing art historical presentations, but then also leading art workshops that relate to whatever moment of art history we've talked about. So I mentioned plein air painting earlier. One of our programs has me doing an overview of the Impressionists and talking about their work in plein air, but then one of our instructors will actually take the group outside and we'll draw and sketch directly from the nature that surrounds the retirement community where we're doing the presentation. So we're excited for these opportunities to kind of expand our borders. We're already doing after-school programs at 5 of the 6 Northville elementary schools. So we're thinking about what other audiences can we share our great art experiences with beyond just elementary school kids as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the different audiences that you're really, sounds like you're somewhat strategically marketing or targeting that you can get there because you want to just expand that reach.
Exactly. Yeah, and we offer a lot of programs either for adults to do on their own or for kids to do on their own. So one of my other goals is to find more ways to engage families to do things together. So that's part of where the preschool play dates came from, so that a 2 or 3-year-old is there with a grown-up, but they're making memories together. So thinking about, holiday events or summer kickoff events where families can come and experience the art together. So it's not just mom doing it on her own or a kid doing it on their own.
Right. Oh, that just sounds so wonderful. It just makes me want to get some pastels together
Right?
and do some artwork, right? I imagine that you mentioned there's 2 of you that run everything. Do you need volunteers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Please tell us more about that.
I mean, we are always looking for volunteers. And for us, most of our volunteer help is needed with our events that we put on. So for sure, we will need dozens of volunteers for our art market this summer. But we also use volunteers to help greet guests as they come into the art house. We have a volunteer who does all of our yard work for us. So he comes and mows the lawn. He actually graduated from volunteer to board member. So that was exciting. But we're also always on the hunt for new board members for the art house as well. So if what I've been talking about and our mission sounds compelling to you, we are always looking for new board members to come and join us and help us to bring the arts to the community as well.
And such an important way to serve, being a board member. People may not think that, right? But that is a great way to help kind of steward the organization forward into the future.
Absolutely.
Where can people find out more about the Northville Art House?
The best way to find out information about the art house is via our website, which is northvillearthouse.org. We also are on Facebook and Instagram, so those are great ways to stay in touch with us as well.
And I saw, so again, there's so many pieces that you could purchase there, all different kinds of subject matter, you know, that you can look at. I saw your classes are there. It just looked like so many fun opportunities to
there's never
get
a dull
engaged.
moment at the art house. So yeah, join us in the fun.
And as we close today, what has being at the Northville Art House meant to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me is that having been away from home for so long, for almost 20 years, it means a lot to me to be able to bring my love of art and my passion for art to the community where I grew up. I mean, my first job was a block away from where the art house is currently located. So I'm literally full circle from where I started my career. And to be able to just share art and the beauty of art, the power of art with the community where I grew up is unbelievable. So I feel very fortunate.
Well, your love of art and the Northville Art House came through just so clearly today. So it's been such a pleasure learning about it with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And we thank you for joining us today, viewers, where you help us celebrate all things that are happening in Michigan. We'll see you next time.